ladies and gentlemen, from the O2 London, live on Sky Sports box office, and sponsored by William Hill, Volterol, World of Tanks and JE Sports, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, in association with Haymaker Wingstar Promotions, is very proud to bring you World Championship Boxing. This is 12 rounds for the vacant IBF Bantamweight Championship of the World. Sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, President Darrell Peoples, our supervisor from Arizona, USA, Aaron Kaiser, and the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge is the President, Mr. Charles Giles. At ringside, our three judges scoring. From Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon. From England, Howard Foster. And from the USA, Patrick J. Morley. Timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Brett Bowles. And in charge of the action, championship referee from England, Mr. Bob Williams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to meet the boxers. In the red corner, he wears blue with red and white trim. He weighed in 8 stone 5 pounds 7 ounces. He has a perfect record. 17 contests, 17 wins, 12 wins by KO. Former WBO and WBC Latino champion. Former WBA Fedelatin champion. From Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, Emmanuel Rodriguez. In the blue corner, winning red with white and gold, on the scales at 8 stone 9 pounds 5 ounces. From 29 contests, 25 wins, 13 wins inside the distance, only 4 defeats at 115 pounds. He was the British Commonwealth, WBO and WBA Intercontinental Champion. In 2014, he was the IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World. From Ellesmere Port, Cheshire, England, the baby-faced assassin, Paul Butler.
Pull him on it. Right to the belly button.
Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Catch her a little bit high.
The vacant world bantamweight crown on the line, a prize that unbeaten Puerto Rican Emmanuel Rodriguez can capture. But unfortunately, Ellesmere Port's Paul Butler is unable to, because he failed to make the 8 stone 6 or 118-pound limit. A little like the situation Scott Quigg found himself in recently against Oscar Valdez. Still a serious night for Butler. And there must be a huge weight advantage. Will that prove useful to the man from Cheshire in the red trunks, big Liverpool fan? And the predominantly blue of Emmanuel Rodriguez in his 18th outing, 4 years younger, comes with a huge reputation. It was always going to be a difficult ask and step up again for Butler, even though he's been a world champion before.
Yes, it's always going to be a tough ask, and the weight which you just talked about, I mean, that's, if anything, a big positive. It's always a comfort for a fighter to be able to do the weight quite easily, and obviously he didn't make the weight, so how hard did he try? Not sure there's much of a beneficial game plan in that, because he can't win the IBF title.
The word is he wasn't feeling great around the time Liam Smith got ill and pulled out of his fight, his world title tilt. But Butler's obviously fit and strong enough to go through with it. And what about Rodriguez? What about the mindset there? They've been very buoyant all week, the big Puerto Rican team around him, trying to follow in the footsteps of the great fighters that Puerto Rico have produced over the years. Good body shot from Butler.
Very good body shot. Nice right hand placed just below the left elbow of Rodriguez, and he felt that one.
Oh, the left hook from Rodriguez. That's the reply. And he's badly hurt, Butler, in the first round. The count's at 7. He just about gets to his feet. And there's the power of Emmanuel Rodriguez. And there's a minute left in the first. How are the legs, Carl?
Well, it was a sharp, almost effortless-looking left hook from Rodriguez. And the legs look solid. I mean, it's round 1, but this is really bad.
Oh,
bad
big punches to the head, and Butler's in a whole heap of trouble here. Can he make it through the opening session? He says he's okay to referee Bob Williams in his first ever world title fight, the referee, and it might not last long.
And we wasn't sure about Rodriguez, but we're finding out pretty sharply. Paul Butler, quality opposition, coming unstuck here, terrible in the first round.
And a good uppercut there from Rodriguez. Punching with the intentions and accurate too. The timing, he can't miss Butler.
Well, Butler needs to move. He's moving in the right direction, but he needs to keep going and just keep out of his way and try and see this round out. Last 10 seconds here.
Body shot, he digs in his own hook back, but has he got the firepower to compete with this Puerto Rican, who's had a wonderful start to his own world title challenge?
Right hand and support you on the counter with it, all right? Like I said, every time it touches upset, fucking flip that left hook.
I remember when Paul Lloyd, also from Ellesmere Port, fought the great Marco Antonio Barrera in London, and it was a 10-7 round. He was cut in both eyes. They pulled him out after one session. It's not quite as dramatic, but similarities.
Yes, I mean, look at the quality work there of Rodriguez. Just basic boxing, really. He placed the left hook so effortlessly, and when it landed, it just, the effect was there to see. I mean, I don't know how Paul Butler now comes back from this, because he looks so badly hurt. Only in round 1, so he needs to really regroup.
Round 2.
Second round, vacant IBF bantamweight title on the line. Paul Butler in real trouble here. Can he get any sort of foothold into the fight? Emmanuel Rodriguez with sharpness and speed and power, and that right hook bouncing off Butler's chin, but he can't keep taking shots like that. He looks really good, this Puerto Rican.
He does. He's landing lead right hands. Very sharp. He gets his feet nicely in range. He just picks out them straight right hands. A nightmare to be in front of when somebody's so effortlessly just picking them shots.
171 of 182 amateur fights, unbeaten as a pro. No wonder there's excitement about him.
Well, there's a lot of big noise for Rodriguez. They're talking about him like he's the next big thing in this bantamweight division.
Butler back with a combination, just shakes his head, Rodriguez, and says that didn't trouble me. That jab piercing through the defense of Butler. And a lovely right hand as well. Timing so good, so early, Carl.
Yeah, just really relaxing and just easing into it, but if it had such an effect with them accurate punches, he'll be very confident. The IBF title's on the line here. I mean, it's up for grabs for Rodriguez. So he's taking this very seriously. He won't really worry too much about Paul Butler's weight. He's just getting on with it, and you can see how serious he is. I mean, he's not getting excited. He's not trying to close the show. He realises this is still only round 2. But what a great start for him.
Butler, former world champion, who's a quality operator. He's only lost once in 27 fights. That was by stoppage to the excellent Zolani Tete, but it was much later on. And Rodriguez has been firing at him from the opening bell. Butler did well to survive the opening, didn't he?
He did very well. I mean, he seems to have recovered. Maybe it's a bit of a flash knockdown there. He's regrouped, listened to his corner, but he's still getting caught with the odd flashy shot. He's standing still in front of Rodriguez. He needs to be moving his head more and using his feet and getting off to sides and giving him angles and throwing fakes, but Rodriguez is very accurate and very sharp.
We saw that movement when he outboxed and outclassed Stewie Hall in Liverpool. Is this a case of levels, this one? A long way to go, of course. Butler bobbing and weaving. Popular fighter on the scene.
We know all the time, off a jab, then he comes with a big right hand. We can't get involved holding ourselves there. When he comes with that jab, the right hand comes, it'll step back. Keep letting him fall short. Not comfortable when you're going back. We know that, understand? Keep making him fall short. Because when you're there and you're committing, he's looking to counter you. Keep feinting, little feints all the time. Shoot that right hand underneath, all right? Yeah? Good. That left hand, don't be stabbing to the body. You've tried it twice, and he's looking to counter you with the right hand every time. Don't feint it, and sure it comes to come up with the left hook over the top, yeah? So feet and movement and movement. Listen, when you're alone, you're caught in good shots then, Paul. You didn't do anything about that.
Joe Gallagher and Mick Williamson in the corner of Paul Butler. Here's the third round. Round number 181 of Paul Butler's career. Only the 80th for Emmanuel Rodriguez. Come up the quiet way, Rodriguez. But people around him have had a lot of serious belief, and they've waited for this opportunity patiently. Round about 6th or 7th in the world list, the two of them. Ryan Burnett, of course, Alani Tete, Noya Inoue, who's got that great match with Jamie McDonnell coming up at the end of May. It's a hot, buzzing division.
Every time Paul Butler tries to get something going, he seems to get picked off, not with a heavy, powerful shot, but just an annoying, peppering right hand or a jab from Rodriguez, just to keep Paul Butler thinking. And this is why he's not able to work much. Missing with the jab there. Rodriguez effortlessly just slipping his head out of the way. And when you're in front of an opponent that's so fast and skillful as Rodriguez is, you almost don't want to throw your punches because you know something's coming back.
High-class amateur himself, Butler, with the Vauxhall Motors ABC in Ellesmere Port. He was the ABA flyweight champion back in 2010. He'll need the jab, won't he? He'll need the mobility, and to start getting Rodriguez thinking a bit, just bringing a few doubts into the mind of the Puerto Rican.
That's right, but to get him thinking, he needs to also throw plenty of feints, and he's not doing that. He's sort of sticking the jab out, hoping it lands, and it's just not going to land. There's nothing in front of the jab. The jab, you can just see it coming, or it falls short like it did then. He steps in, he throws a nice right hook to the body, but Rodriguez isn't really too concerned about Paul Butler landing the odd body shot. He'll take that to get his shots off. Butler really needs to pick up the pace with the jab and the feints, but it's easier said than done. Rodriguez really is a quality operator.
Comfortable in there, isn't he, behind that jab? Rodriguez looking for the quick-fire right hand. And even if Butler's protecting himself for some of them, the force of them as well on the gloves, and if he is giving a fair amount of weight away, Rodriguez, he obviously possesses some dynamite in those fists.
He does, yeah. I mean, he's doing the right thing, trying to back up Rodriguez, keep giving him something to think about, but you can see here he's just being picked off. He's got the centre of the ring, Paul Butler, but he's getting picked off in the centre of the ring, which is bad news. It just shows the speed and the class, you know, the quality of punches from Rodriguez, and the accuracy is there.
A lot of blood from the nose of Paul Butler. I wonder if that's gone, and that could really be problematic as the rounds tick on. But there was and a right hand from Rodriguez at the end of that one. Difficult for Butler, this.
corners, 10 seconds.
Just alongside the current
Seconds
reigning
out.
king, Anthony
Round
Joshua.
4.
Bruno, who became world champion September '95 at Wembley. Joshua, of course, beating Charles Martin in this very arena to really kickstart his career. We wait and see what happens next with the AJ Wilder situation. We'll be hearing from Anthony a little bit later on. Here's the fourth IBF bantamweight crown on the line. Remember, Emmanuel Rodriguez, the only one that could take this home because of the problems at the weigh-in for Paul Butler. He was 3 pounds 5 ounces over, and he's been on the canvas a couple of times tonight. The problems are continuing.
They certainly are. He's in front of a man in Rodriguez who seems to be in second gear, but still having it all his own way. Taking nothing away from Paul Butler, but the quality of Rodriguez, the effortless work, and the quality of his shots, the accuracy and the speed. It's just such a difficult task for Paul Butler. It's hard to try and explain to people how he gets back into this one, but walking in some heavy digs here, just short little left hooks. Everything Rodriguez does, when he decides to step it up, it has an effect. It's almost the waiting game for him. He's really enjoying himself in there, Rodriguez.
He's won a Latino bantamweight title, coming off a victory over Giovanni Delgado, as he goes to work on Butler again, and that nose looks a bloody mess for Paul Butler. It's just non-stop, isn't it, from Rodriguez? And I think the accuracy and the punch-picking, the selection, has been so impressive.
It has been very impressive, and I almost feel that mentally now he's switching it up a level, and he's starting to enjoy himself, and maybe think to himself, you know what, this might be the time to see him showboating here, goading in Paul Butler. Almost like he's going to decide when he wants to finish it. Almost he can. I don't like the arrogance, but don't get me wrong, there's a lot of class in Rodriguez.
14 stoppages on the Butler slate. Can he in any way deter Rodriguez? Right hand from the Puerto Rican, just off balance there. Butler straight back into the fold, but is he straight back into more menacing punches from Rodriguez?
Well, that was the speed there of Rodriguez, evident for everybody to see. I mean, Paul Butler threw quite a sharp jab, and the right hand landed before his jab even got anywhere near Rodriguez. That was timing and speed.
You mentioned the arrogance or the swagger of Rodriguez, but his face has been etched in concentration, hasn't he? He's going about this intelligently. Good blocking of body shots there from Rodriguez.
Yes, very, very professional. I mean, you can see he's concentrating and thinking about what he's doing. He's not taking anything for granted.
That right hand again over the top. Plenty of guts here shown from Butler, standing in front of him, bobbing and weaving upper half of the body, but not getting anything in these rounds.
Ready him up. Oh, no. Listen, it's on the stopping jab. So he's doing your stopping jab in your second one. Just look at throw the right hook, right hand over the top of your left hand, and show his jab, all right, jab. And every time you hit him with one or two steps back with his hands down, move their feet in quick, boom. When you're in position, throw, roll your head. Okay? Don't have your head over your front foot, watch the left uppercut, all right? Yeah, get that feet moving and that feet moving, all right? He's going back on his own accord now. He's trying to walk you onto the shot on that jab, all right? Slip, slip, feint, look as though you've got to lead with the left hook or the right hand, yeah? Your coach got to let the shots go, all right? Come on. Yeah.
There's the right hand followed by the left hook. Uppercut type hook there from Rodriguez, knocking Paul Butler there back off balance. Good advice from Joe Gallagher in the corner. Throw the fakes, a lot of advice actually, because, you know, trying to cover all angles, giving him plenty of advice, plenty to think about. Sometimes you can over-inundate your fighter with too much information. Maybe keep it simple, but this is good. He's having a go. He's probably got to take Rodriguez and try and get him into the later rounds and hope that the weight, by making the weight, fades him, but it's a risky gamble to take with sharp counters coming straight back at him.
He came out for the fifth very fast. Paul Butler throwing combinations to the body, but Rodriguez again controlling the center of the ring. Clever with his distance. Butler trying to find gaps, but there are many.
Now, this is gutsy stuff from Paul Butler. He's getting picked off here, almost hit at will, but he's still trying, he's still going forward, trying to look for openings and create openings. Unfortunately for him, the sharpness and the accuracy of Rodriguez is too much.
I like Rodriguez's attitude, not only in the ring, but outside of the ring all week. There's been a real confidence about him, and he had no problem continuing with this fight despite the weight advantage that Butler has. Butler has a great deal of support in here tonight. But is that going to be enough? He's not won anything, has he, Cole?
Unfortunately, no, he's not. Rodriguez, as you say, he's coming into this fight very confident. He's got a bit of a swagger about him outside the ring on the build-up to this, and he has every right to do so. We mentioned earlier the World Junior silver medalist as an amateur, 17 fights unbeaten as a professional. He's coming here now, this is his world title fight. He's got to take this.
It is a step up as well for Rodriguez, and he's looking every bit a world champion in waiting.
Well, we hope to see Paul Butler take him into the later round, so we can see if he can put some kind of pressure on Rodriguez as he slows, because he will slow down. He's human. As the rounds drag on, he will start to set his feet a little bit, and he'll stay there a bit longer, and that's when Paul Butler can maybe start to have some success.
And he's got plenty of 12-round experience as well, Paul Butler. Very seasoned, and he looked like he could do another 3 or 4 when he fought Stewie Hall the other week. He was a few months ago, sorry, when he was really in a rhythm, and he was concentrating, and he was picking holes in Hall, who's always tough and strong and brave. But it is about levels, this sport.
It is, yeah, and that rhythm you talk about against Hall, he can't get any rhythm with Rodriguez because he's just getting picked off.
Yeah, good jab, solid all-round ability from Emmanuel Rodriguez. A warm welcome back on this very warm spring night here in southeast London. The O2 Arena, waiting for the big match, of course, later on. But we're all enjoying watching the class and the movement of Emmanuel Rodriguez from Bahia in Puerto Rico, in with Ellesmere Port's Paul Butler. We know how good Butler's been over the years, but he just can't get a foothold in this. Brave, stubborn, getting the occasional combination and trying ever so hard, Butler, as he always does, but just can't get anything major off. Certainly not to offset Rodriguez and snap him out of this.
No, that's right, Adam. Difficult task in front of him. Rodriguez, and this head movement and this slipping and sliding and trying to back up Rodriguez and the fakes, this one he needs to do, because this will get the energy out of Rodriguez. It's always dangerous because obviously he's going to put himself in the danger zone, in range for a counter punch, the sharp counter punch, the accurate hooks and uppercuts that are coming back from Rodriguez, but it's the only chance Butler has to try and push him back.
Doubling up the jab on Butler's nose, that's sensible from Rodriguez. Mick Williamson's done a great job in the corner, but now he's just planting his feet a tad more, Rodriguez. And these jabs look sickening, Carl.
Yeah, that's because they're so sharp and accurate. They landed on the face of Paul Butler almost at will as he comes forward. Still trying though, Paul Butler. He's not given up, you can see that. He's got a steely look about him. He's planting his feet in front of Rodriguez and just trying to back him up, but he's so aware of the quality that's coming back at him. He's just constantly being kept on edge.
Baby-faced assassin, like one great Marco Antonio Barrera. who we obviously idolised, as many people in boxing did. One of the great fighters of the modern generation. So many too from Puerto Rico, the likes of Felix Trinidad and Miguel Cotto, following a long line of greats like Wilfredo Gomez, Wilfred Benitez, Carlos Ortiz, Hector Camacho. What a colourful character. And multi-weight division champion he was. It's just a Caribbean jewel, isn't it, that produces wonderful fighters.
It certainly is. Good left hook there from Rodriguez. Some of them names you chucked into the mix there, Adam. Eric Morales, my favourite. Barrera, obviously, right up there with him. But this weight division really does produce some quality.
Blood dripping from the nose of Butler. Still trying to dig his own feet in, but he's really finding nowhere to go in there. Rodriguez, a big right hand. I think that hurt Butler here. Last 10 seconds of the 6th. Getting to the sort of point where he came apart against Zolani Tete. And Rodriguez is starting to just get some more meat into these punches. Anthony Josh. AJ with a big smile, loves meeting the fans. And he said to me a few weeks ago, I'm not missing tonight, I really want to be there for Bellew and Hay too. He was here for the first one, he was loving every minute of it, and I think he'll do so again.
Yeah, well, he speaks very highly of Tony Bellew, and yeah, they're good friends. Spent a lot of time around each other, especially when Bellew and myself were sparring. Anthony Joshua watched a lot of that.
But I think he really just enjoyed the fight and the whole spectacle last time. More of the same. I'm sure there will be twists and turns and drama ahead.
Well, we're in the second half now of this Rodriguez showcase, which is what it's looking like, and he started to back up Paul Butler at the end of round 6.
Just squeaked in a body shot there, Paul Butler, and there was a nod of respect from Rodriguez. Still determined here, Butler. With the right hand, he just can't get out of the way. The speed of it.
Well, he has to try something, and Joe Gallagher will be saying to him, now you've got to go to it, you've got to start trying to make some kind of impact on Rodriguez. You can't sit back because it's just, you know, the writing's on the wall.
Losing round after round, he's got to take a gamble, a risk, but then he's going to leave himself open, isn't he? That's the problem. And has he got the own power to really hurt Rodriguez? And you've got to wonder about the camp as well beforehand, why he was so heavy on the scales.
That's right. I mean, his punch ratio, he's probably got a 50% knockout rate, so he can bang. But these bantamweights don't tend to have that one-punch knockout.
Nice shot there, but Rodriguez back with his own crisp 1-2, doubling that up. And again, he looks to hunt down Butler, trap him on the ropes. This is where he wants him.
Well, he's having a go here, Butler, but as he does, Rodriguez just answers and backs him up. So it's sickening for Paul Butler.
The right hand again from Rodriguez. Remember, Butler on the floor twice in the opening round, done ever so well to grit this out, but it is becoming a real painful night for Butler.
Yeah, showing no emotion, Rodriguez, just concentrating, almost a poker face in there, nothing to read for Paul Butler. He's just got to keep trying to plug away, but it's almost, and I don't like to say it, but it's almost mission impossible in there for Paul Butler, because Rodriguez really is that good.
Continues behind the jab, stalking Butler. More blood from the face, but you can't say anything about his spirit and will, Paul Butler. He's digging in here, he's digging very deep. He could have sat this one out at some stage, couldn't he, in between rounds, but he wants it so bad. Right hand as well, and Butler still believes here.
The bravery is admirable by Paul Butler. He really is going for it. He's not backing up. He stays in range when he has to try and get his shots off, but...
Let's get backstage. John Ryder with Fraser.
Career defining for me. If a win propels me towards a title, a loss sends me into retirement.
Terrific performance for you last time out against Patrick Nielsen. Are you going to have to be better than that tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I think Jamie's a tough competitor. And, he's going to be on it tonight. He's got his career on the line as well.
And is it going to come down to who wants it the most?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a real war of two halves here. We're both fighting for our future.
And the possibility of a world title in the future too.
That's it.
Good luck, John.
Thank you.
He's a quiet, calm character, John Ryder. So too Jamie Cox. It's a really, really good fight, that, coming up. Super middleweight match. And he is a really good fighter in Emmanuel Rodriguez. Paul Butler is too. He just hasn't been able to live with Rodriguez so far. I don't think the three judges could have given him anything really. As I said, the heart and guts have been with Butler, but the class and quality with Emmanuel Rodriguez. What will the corner be thinking? Joe Gallagher and the team, very experienced in there. Will they have any hope that he can pull this off late on, or will they be thinking about their fighter?
Well, they'll be thinking about preservation, but at this level, he's got to stay in there. I mean, he's not been under any serious pressure where he looks like he's getting hurt. He's certainly still full of spirit, as we can see, showing a lot of bravery, but he's losing every round, so it's difficult.
And the slight quandary as well is that Butler can't win the world title, so he's probably going to go home bruised and in a bit of pain. He'll want to see the 12 rounds out, but time is ticking if he's going to make any sort of impression on Rodriguez. Just happy to pace himself here, isn't he, Emmanuel Rodriguez? Showing his own sort of variation of experience, maybe through the amateur ranks rather than as a pro. We haven't seen a lot of him yet.
No, that's right. And as I said earlier, Paul Butler's only chance would be to take Rodriguez late, so try and, you know, preserve the damage he gets inflicted to him. I mean, you can see his face is looking bruised and swollen and blooded from the shots of Rodriguez. But if you can back Rodriguez up and put him under pressure and continue this pressure on, then if Rodriguez is going to fall apart, which obviously fall apart is a strong word, but start to fade and slow down, that's when Butler can have a chance.
No signs yet, but no dramatic finish like we thought there might be after the first round. Wonder if he's pacing himself a little as well, Rodriguez, because of the weight difference in there, just to make sure he gets it absolutely right. He's a pleasure to watch, though, isn't he, Carl?
He is a pleasure to watch. He looked like he could maybe force a stoppage on Paul Butler earlier, and I thought he was going to try and step it up. You know, he was almost nonchalant in his body language, and he was showing a bit of arrogance in there, working, dropping his gloves, sticking his chin out a bit and landing shots at will. But he's calmed down now, and he's settling down, and maybe he's going to settle for a points win here.
This makes Butler miss that. It's just this long spearing jab. We saw the statistics beforehand, and the reach was pretty close as Butler tries to engage with him up close.
Landing a nice jab there, Butler. One of very few, but he got through. Backed up Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like the self-belief. He got a lot of criticism, Paul Butler, yesterday after not making the weight, not attempting to drag himself down afterwards, but he's keeping his pride intact here, very much so.
He certainly is.
Joe Gallagher having a real serious word in there. I think he's just checking that everything's okay. Difficult for a coach to watch his pupil, and they've been together a little while now, but being outclassed, outboxed, and losing on the scorecards round after round, but still he tries, still he stands in front of Emmanuel Rodriguez. Tough that, isn't it, for a trainer, Cole?
Yeah, it must be very tough. I mean, he's got to send his man out, Paul Butler, and it's difficult to know what to tell him. He's got to keep that head movement. He's got to try and get the jab established. But the speed and accuracy and the counter-punch of Rodriguez. Just picking that sharp jab. Rodriguez looking for the counter right hand still. Not really any urgency in his work. Doesn't really look like he wants to step it up or try and go for any kind of stoppages. Maybe he'll try that later on, but at the minute he's not flat-footed, but he's not really on his toes as much as backing up Butler.
Butler's been 12 rounds on 4 occasions. Rodriguez never passed the 10th as he goes to work here, head and body with combinations, and just puts a slight injection of pace in midway through the 9th. Butler again brave, coming back and really giving it everything here, which is good to see from Paul Butler.
Certainly is, back against the ropes there. On the receiving end of some nice quality work, body and head combination from Rodriguez. And Paul Butler turned off the ropes and answered back. Very brave, still looking for that right hand.
Victor Ortiz, Freddie Trinidad, Pedro Cruz alongside us in the red corner of Emmanuel Rodriguez. Look very happy. Just little bits of advice. And they've got a good fighter. Can he close the show, Rodriguez?
Well, the question mark and the talk before this was, what has Rodriguez done? Who's he beat? We're not sure about him. He's looked good in all of his fights, but you know, of his 17 wins, 12 of them have come early, so he can obviously punch a bit, but does he have that finish in him and that punching power at world level? We're not really seeing that here against Paul Butler, but let's not forget Paul Butler is a quality operator at this level.
Oh, uppercut was a lovely shot from Rodriguez. Hasn't overused that. Been content to box behind the jab, looking for the quick right hand, but now he's light on his feet and enjoying himself in there.
He does look like he can step it up a gear. He looks like he's sort of holding back and just cruising through, which is, you know, I don't want to play down Paul Butler's bravery and heart, but it's all far too easy for Rodriguez in there.
Yeah, another uppercut, just showing off his variety and versatility. Boxing tonight and massive football ahead this weekend. Really exciting to look forward to. Super Sunday, 12:30, Manchester City against Huddersfield. Then the crunch clash, Chelsea and Liverpool, 4:15, Super Sunday. Tuesday, Swansea, Southampton. Wednesday, Chelsea, Huddersfield. And West Ham United on Thursday. It is a bumper week as the Premier League comes towards its conclusion. Exciting times in the football world, exciting times in the boxing world too. Bellew 2 ahead. Ryder Cox as well. That lovely trade super middleweight match. 50-50 fight. This one, unfortunately, for Paul Butler fans, is anything but a 50-50. 3 judges at ringside. Carlos Colon from Puerto Rico, Patrick J. Morley from America, and just in front of us, your old friend Howard Foster. Will they be giving absolutely everything from start to finish to Rodriguez?
Yes, I don't see how they can do anything other than score every round to Rodriguez, and you've obviously got that devastating round for Paul Butler. He lost that one 10-7, down twice, showing so much bravery to come back from 2 knockdowns in the first round to still be here in round 10. Still trying to push Rodriguez back.
Talking about bravery, back in November 2010, Rodriguez was involved in a road accident that saw him suffer second-degree burns to 66% of his body, kept him out of boxing for almost a year. Incredible comeback from life-threatening stuff. So many tales, aren't there, in this crazy world? And look at him now, boxing, literally guiding himself, cruising towards a world title after suffering something like that.
Amazing, some of the stories. It's all where they're from, where they grow up. It's all part and parcel of a lot of these countries. You know, it's hard, the upbringing. Talk about Gervonta Davis earlier, and the gangland.
Big right hand there from Rodriguez, and just makes Butler give ground. Oh, uppercuts, good body shot as well. Bob Williams just having a closer look now on Paul Butler. I think there's some damage by the right eye as well, and to the nose. There's still a couple more rounds after this to get through. He's got really no chance at all of winning this. And it's all a question of, can Emmanuel Rodriguez force the stoppage? Butler brave, refusing to go. But it is, I would think, for his friends and family, a fairly tough watch, this.
Yeah, when Rodriguez decides to step on the gas, he looks like... He almost looks like he could force the stoppage if he wanted to, but he's happy to just not take too many risks, because Paul Butler, you know, he's still throwing back. He's still looking like he wants to try and win, pushing Rodriguez back here with a double jab and a right hand, trying to loop it around the top, but Rodriguez just too sharp and too aware and too accurate with his response.
I think he's really enjoying showcasing his talent in front of the UK market. It's a massive opportunity, not just to win a world title, but it's primetime viewing on a Saturday night, beamed around the world. I think he wants to be in there as long as possible.
Maybe so. I mean, why not get the experience? It's all priceless experience in that professional ring. Great head movement and work, and just cruising around, really. It doesn't look like he's breathing heavy. So he's obviously very fit at the weight, very impressive.
And he does 10 rounds for the first time. Another tick on the career journey. It's been 6 years now for Emmanuel Rodriguez.
No, I'm not bothered about my nose.
Yeah, emotions running high in the corner. Apologies for the language, but it must be so frustrating. You know, when we saw him outbox Stewie Hall and looking fantastic, Paul Butler waiting for a chance to regain a world title. Everything was at ease for Joe and Paul, and all around the Cheshire Merseyside area, proud fighting parts. David Price with us tonight, of course. The Smith brothers will be cheering Paul Butler on. Tony Bellew, of course, would love to see the little man pull this off, but barring anything, and I would say it's pretty impossible now for Paul Butler to even land a shot in this weight and against this sort of fighter to turn this on its head. All we can say is it's been brave, but it's been absolutely punch perfect from Emmanuel Rodriguez. Can he close the show with a stoppage?
Joe Gallagher almost giving Paul Butler an out there in the corner, just talking about the damage to his face and the nose swelling, and Paul Butler responded, as most fighters with desire will. I'm not bothered about the nose. I don't care about the damage to my face. I want to try. So he's got a couple more rounds now to show Joe Gallagher that he still wants this, but it's almost futile. I mean, Rodriguez is that good. He's enjoying himself, picking shots at will, on his toes now, almost showboating in front of Paul Butler. He's great to watch. He really is a quality operator. Paul Butler's got nothing to be ashamed of here at all.
Totally agree. Former world champion, quality fighter himself, Paul Butler, and tonight he's showing plenty of heart and guts and a refusal to bow down to the fists of Emmanuel Rodriguez. It's been a wonderful exhibition of box fighting, though, from Rodriguez. Classy movement, patience, concentration, couple of knockdowns early. I mean, there will be those who said, hey, he should have finished it. You know, he had the chance, and he's upped the tempo a couple of times where you thought possibly, maybe. But the corner haven't pulled Butler out. The referee hasn't found a moment to stop it, and Rodriguez hasn't forced that. But still, it's been brilliant.
And you know what? Rodriguez has been hit with very little. Really good defense, great head movement, superb reflexes. So in terms of self-preservation here, picking up a world title to move on from this, it's a punch-perfect performance.
And looking at that list, the likes of Ryan Burnett, Jamie McDonald, Naoya Inoue, Luis Neri. It's a great lineup, some fantastic fights in the world bantamweight division ahead. Really good matches, aren't there?
Well, there's some really exciting, as you say, future matchups for this young man. Only 25 years old, the whole future's in front of him.
It's often forgotten about the lighter weight fighters, and what we've seen in Puerto Rico and Mexico, they go up through the weights. They're that good. Maybe this guy can as well.
And this is a fight that will improve him. This is the first time he's been this distance. He'll be better from this.
Just can't let his shots go. He's just stepping that back. Just keeping that distance a little bit. We're not moving his body. Yeah, exactly. But listen, watch any sloppy jabs. He'll be looking to finish with the right hand over the top of it, all right? Get that moving, all right? When you get an opportunity and he wants to stand still and go on, let it go. You let go, all right? And you let go hard and fast, all right? Roll of the dice. 3 minutes, all right, son, yeah? Okay? Move and move, move. You know when you hit him 2 or 3 times, you've got to come with his 3 or 4 hard shots and lift his head in the air. Step back, drop that shoulder and walk onto that right hook, all right? Yeah? Okay?
The ups and downs of life as a trainer. Callum Johnson's wonderful win. Scotty Cardle getting stopped the same night. Highs and lows. And now Paul Butler looking up, just checking it is the final round, and they touch gloves. I think he'll be glad to get through this, and I think he deserves to now, Paul Butler, for the effort and determination. He's never stopped working, he's never stopped trying. It's simple, he just hasn't been good enough.
That's right, it's not for not trying. I mean, he's really had a go, and Joe Gallagher there lifting the spirits, or trying to lift the spirits of Paul Butler coming in for this final round. My scorecard there giving Paul Butler, and well, it's not harsh because he hasn't won a round. It's as simple as that.
He won respect from Team Rodriguez, no doubt about that, and he can come back to fight another day, Paul Butler. And as I said, I wonder if there was more than meets the eye in the build-up. Maybe it wasn't a prime camp, or certainly the weigh-in was a real surprise. Not that he was over, but by how much he was overweight. That advantage hasn't helped him tonight. The speed and skills, variety, versatility of this classy Puerto Rican has shone through. Look at him now going to work at the body. Decent defense from Butler. Really biting down on that gum shield now.
Well, it looks like he could do this all night. As I've said a couple of times, it looks effortless, and it really does. I mean, don't be fooled by him dropping his arms there. He's just relaxing, almost trying to go to punch there off Paul Butler so he can counter punch with this kind of quality. Good head movement there. He's working body and head, looking for the gaps, and he's not really getting hit with anything back. And Paul Butler is throwing.
I wonder if there'll be the odd critic out there that says, why has Emmanuel Rodriguez not stopped Paul Butler tonight? I don't think he's been in that sort of mood. I think he proved his power early, and I think he's really enjoyed showcasing his talent in front of us and the whole world tonight. He's one to watch, this guy.
Well, my answer to that would be because Paul Butler is a very good fighter. 27 fights, 26 wins.
You're absolutely right. Former world champion, only ever lost once, and still trying to attack the body late, deep into the 12th round. Paul Butler deserves every accolade for sticking it out after the nightmare on the scales, and it's been a painful night in reality. But Emmanuel Rodriguez also deserves enormous credit here. Masterclass, start to finish, really. 10-7 in the first round. On your card, nothing to Paul Butler. It's been a shutout, and Emmanuel Rodriguez will be crowned a new and very exciting world bantamweight champion. Take a bow.
Indeed, great finish there from Rodriguez. Paul Butler, spirited finish. But Rodriguez there really doing what he wanted. Big smile on his face. He knows he's just secured the IBF bantamweight world title.
So calm as well, as though he could go and do another 3 or 4 rounds, just like Paul Butler could have done against Stewie Hall. Brave, though, Paul. Well done for getting through 12 rounds and trying so hard and utilising your quality as well. The jab, the body shots. Didn't stop throwing, didn't stop wanting this. But I'd be very surprised if it is not an extremely wide unanimous decision to Emmanuel Rodriguez. We've seen 1 or 2 funny ones over the years, Carl, but surely it's hard to give him anything, Butler, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and if you look at the scorecard and say, well, it's a whitewash, it's totally one-sided, it doesn't tell the story. You'd have to watch the fight to see how spirited and how hard Paul Butler worked, but Rodriguez was just too quick for him. He was too on point with his counter punches, and the quality was there for everybody to see. Unfortunately, Paul Butler lost out to somebody who is very, very talented and very good, and I think he's got such a bright future ahead of him. Rodriguez, in this is only his 18th fight.
Yep, Paul Butler can come again, no doubts about that. As Emmanuel Rodriguez takes the photos, we wait for the official decision. MC Craig Stephen is preparing for that. He would have really enjoyed it. Adam Booth, wonder what he's thinking tonight. I spoke to him a bit earlier. He just isn't sure how the main event's going to go. He's with David Hay, of course, for so long. He has Ryan Burnett now in this division. What a fight that would be, Burnett and Rodriguez. But I bet you deep down Adam Booth loved what he just saw from a boxing purist point of view. His sort of fighter, isn't he?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, he'll have a lot of respect there for Rodriguez.
Let's find out officially.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee Bob Williams will bring together both boxers, and we go to our judges' score totals. Judge Carlos Colon, 118-108. Both judges Howard Foster and Patrick J. Morley, 120-106. All 3 judges in favour of the winner and the new IBF bantamweight champion of the world, from Puerto Rico, Emmanuel "Manny" Rodriguez.
Big round of applause from Paul Butler, Joe Gallagher and Mick Williamson. That shows the class of that team. But the class tonight was all with this new world champion, Emmanuel Rodriguez. Have Puerto Rico got another really good fighter on their hands?